friends, today we got a matchup between Lier, Disciple of the Drowned, and Light-Paws. Lier's a 3/4 for 3 and 2 blue that allows you to return instants and sorceries or play them again, giving them all flashback. So this is a graveyard spellslinger type deck. Downside to Lier is that you can't counter any spells, so you have to be kind of selective. I try to play out all my counters and then bring Lier back and use the card draw effects that are in my graveyard and other types of instants and sorceries to get advantage over my opponent. Our opponent today is Light-Paws, Emperor's Voice. This is an Enchantress and White Weenie type deck, so actually a pretty hard matchup in that counter magic isn't really that strong against White Weenies because you're trying to get an advantage in mana, which you can't really utilize. Light-Paws is able to fetch you a aura from your library and put it directly onto Light-Paws, so pretty strong ability there. We'll see if I can't get a couple of wins. We ended up winning the coin toss, so we're going to elect to be on the play. And this is a pretty solid hand, so we're going to go ahead and keep this. And we'll open with an island and pass to our opponent. And they play a Plains, passing back to us. And we'll go ahead and play this Scalding Tarn, and we'll crack it right away and get us a regular island and pass the turn. Light-Paws with a Dust Bowl, and then they're going to play SRAM. We don't have anything we can do about that, but in response we will play this Telling Time. 2 mana, we'll look at the top 3, put 1 into our hand, 1 on top of our library, and 1 on the bottom of our library. Our 3 options are Into the Royal, Polluted Delta, and Wash Away. And I think the best of these to get right now is going to be Wash Away. So we'll put that into our hand. We'll put Into the Royal on top, and then we'll put the Polluted Delta on the bottom. SRAM's going to hit the battlefield, and then they'll pass to us. We'll draw that Into the Royal, play an island, and I think we just play that Extra Planar Lens. When it enters, we'll have to exile an island, which is a little bit rough, but we do have access to 4 mana now next turn. And then we'll pass the turn back to Light-Paws. They'll go ahead and play Spirit Mantle, targeting SRAM, so they'll go ahead and draw a card. And SRAM's going to have +1/+1 and protection from creatures. SRAM to attack for 3, no responses, so we'll go down to 16. And then it's going to be our turn. We'll go ahead and play an island for turn. And then we drew into Tishana's Tidebender. I think we go ahead for Talrand and leave Wash Away up. Talrand being a 2/2 that gives us 2/2 flying drakes anytime we cast instants and sorceries. And we'll pass the turn back to SRAM, or to Light-Paws I should say. And then they're going to play Curse of Silence, attaching it to us as a player. When it enters, they can choose a card name and make that card cost 2 extra. Okay. SRAM to draw a card. I'm going to assume they chose our commander, but I did not. It didn't really say. Sometimes that's the trouble with Forge. It's not real clear exactly what's going on. SRAM to attack for 3. We're just going to take that. Light-Paws, I think we go ahead and wash that away. So we'll pay the 1 counter target card that wasn't played from its owner's hand. That'll trigger Talrand, giving us a Drake, and Light-Paws back to the command zone. We'll untap, rewind to hand. We also have unwind, so non-creature spells and then any spell. And then Tishana's Tidebender can also counter an activated or triggered ability. So I think we go to combat and attack with both Talrand and the Drake. No responses from our opponent, so Light-Paws down to 16. We'll pass the turn. SRAM to attack for 3. And then we'll see Light-Paws hit the stack again. And we're going to go ahead and rewind that. So we'll get another Drake token. And then we'll get to untap 4 permanents. Doesn't really. Oh, 4. We get to untap 4 lands. We've only got 2 tapped anyway. I should have tapped this one. My fault. Now we'll see a Retrofitter Foundry, which we're going to go ahead and unwind that. Triggering Talrand again. Foundry is going to be countered, and then we'll untap our lands. And then I think we play Into the Royal to draw a card, targeting SRAM just to put our opponent behind. And we'll go ahead and kick it. So we'll play Into the Royal, kicked. That'll trigger Talrand again. SRAM goes back to hand. We draw a card. And that was all at our opponent's end step. So we're sitting pretty good now. We'll go ahead and play a land for turn. And then I think we go to combat and see what our opponent... Actually, I think we play Lier. We don't have any counter spells in hand anymore. Gives us 1 floating. And we'll hang on to that for telling time, possibly on our opponent's end step. And we'll go to attacks and swing with everything. Might be overextending here, but our opponent down to 6 now. And we'll pass the turn. Light-Paws plays a Plains, and then we'll see SRAM again. And Wintermoon. Players can't untap more than 1 non-basic land during their untap step. Okay, so I think that's game. If there's nothing else. Oh, Mother of Runes. Creature gains protection of color of your choice. And then during end step, we'll go ahead and play the Telling Time from our graveyard. Oh, it's 4? Why is it an extra 4? Wintermoon? What's causing it to be an extra? Anybody out there knows the reason? Let me know. Oh! That's going to be the card my opponent chose with Curse of Silence. Derp. Interesting. Okay. So we'll just let that go through. We'll go ahead and untap. We'll play a land for turn. We've got a bounce spell, but I think we just go to combat and swing with our Drakes. I think Lier can also swing. And Mother of Runes will go ahead and block Lier. And that'll knock them out. Alright, back for game 2. Our opponent is going to go first as they lost game 1. I'm not a fan of this hand, so I'm going to go ahead and mulligan. I don't really like having just the 1 land. I do have a Consider to get me into more cards, but I just think it's a little too risky. Mulligan, I do like this a lot better. We're going to go ahead and put Spell Pierce on the bottom of our library. And then we'll keep this. Opponent opens with a Snow-Covered Plains. We'll go ahead and play an island for turn. And we'll play our Ponder. Top 3 cards, we've got Opt, Suspend, and an Island. And we'll go ahead and put them back on top in that order. And I think we are going to go ahead and shuffle our library and just draw a random card. And we get into a Brainstorm. And then we'll go ahead and pass the turn back to our opponent. Light-Paws to hit the battlefield. They pass back to us. We'll play an island for turn. And then I think we'll play this Sapphire Medallion, reducing the cost of our blue spells by 1 generic. And we'll pass back to Light-Paws, who plays Hyena Umbra, giving first strike and totem armor to Light-Paws. And then they played an enchantment, and so they're going to go ahead and get Spirit Link. So now they've got first strike and lifelink on Light-Paws. And they'll attack for 3, us down to 17, and they'll go up to 23. And then we see the invasion of Gobakon. What does this card do? When it enters, look at target opponent's hand. You may exile a non-land card from it for as long as that card remains exiled. Its owner may play it. The spell cast this way costs 2 more. Oh wow, okay. So attacks of 2 on whatever card they get, and they're going to choose... What card are you going to choose? They chose the Echoing Truth. Okay. Stinks. I was going to use that to get rid of Light-Paws, but I won't be able to anymore. Untap, we'll play an island for turn. I think we go ahead and play this personal tutor. That'll allow us to search a sorcery and put it on top of our library. And we're going to put stock up on top of our library. Pretty strong draw spell. And then we'll go ahead and pass the turn to our opponent. Light-Paws to attack Gobokon. Interesting. I did not know you could do that. Oh, they're trying to play it transformed, which is gives it at the beginning of your end step, put a plus counter on each creature that attacked this turn, and then you can sack it to give your creatures hexproof and indestructible. Wow. Okay. In response, I think we're going to go ahead and play Brainstorm, and we don't get anything to do about that, so we'll go ahead and put Tishana and rewind back on top. It doesn't matter because we're going to play Mental Note here in a second. Invasion's going to take 3. Light-Paws is going to gain 3 off of the Spirit Link, going up to 26. And now this Light Shield Array is going to hit the battlefield. Witch Enchanter, second main phase, to destroy an artifact or enchantment. So goodbye, Sapphire Medallion. Looks like we're off to a bad start this game. And then plus counters for all their stuff. Well, all their creatures that attack this turn. And we'll go ahead and play this Mental Note. Milling 2, drawing a card. And that does not help us. Drawing a card for turn. There we go. We can at least get this Light Shield Array to get sacked. We'll play an island for turn. I think we play stock up. Look at the top 5, put 2 into our hand. I think we get an island. I think we get Force. Our options are Arcane Signet, Island, Force Spike, Scalding Tarn, and Flooded Strand. I think we need to go ahead and get the Scalding Tarn and Force Spike. The others can go back in Flooded Strand, Island, Arcane Signet. And then we will go ahead and pass the turn to our opponent. We're likely playing this. Actually, I think we should probably play the Vapor Snag now. Let's try to send Light-Paws back to the hand. And they don't do anything about it. I really thought they would have given it hexproof, sacrificing this Light Shield Array, but they want to keep it. So, Light Shield Array to stick around. And Witch's Enchanter in for 2. Benevolent Blessing on it to give it protection from blue. So that's going to be a problem creature, as it's just going to get bigger and bigger every turn. Light-Paws back to the battlefield, and then plus counters on the Witch Enchanter. We go ahead and untap, and we're just too far behind. We'll sack this Scalding Tarn. We'll get a Mystical Sanctuary. When it enters, we can get an instant or sorcery to the top of our library. And I think we go with stock up again and just try to draw into an answer. And then with what we've got in hand, we've got a bunch of counter spells and Lier, access to Lier. I think we put Lier out, and then we can potentially at least block as long as they don't have anything. And if not, maybe we trade or get eaten. I don't know, we'll see. Passing the turn, they'll go straight to combat. The Witch to attack us, so I think we do block and pro blue, I forgot it's got protection from blue, so we just won't eat that. And then Mother of Ruins, plus counters for the Witch. Yeah, this is a bad day right here. Stock up again, let's see what we can get into. Our 5 cards are an Island, Shimmer Possibility, Exhaustion, Brain Surge, and Thought Vessel. I think we take Exhaustion and the Thought Vessel. Or, sorry, Exhaustion and Brain Surge. None of them can be played right now, but we do need to get some more time, and Exhaustion will give us that time. Not going to attack, as maybe we can keep 1 creature off of us. Spectacular Spider-Man at the end of our turn, 3/2 with Flash. He can give it flying, and he can also give creatures he controls hexproof and indestructible. I'm not a big fan of these universes beyond, like having Spider-Man in here with my fantasy type creatures, or whatever, fantasy world. What do you guys think about all this universes beyond sets? Opponent goes ahead and untaps, draws a card, activates Mother of Runes, giving Light-Paws protection from blue. And then goes to combat. Light-Paws and Witch's Enchanter to attack us for 6. Can't block as they're pro blue. So we'll go ahead and take that 5. And plus counters at the end of turn. Island for turn. We've got 6 mana. We can go ahead and play Exhaustion, which will slow our opponents down. And we'll leave this Brain Surge up for our opponent's end step. Voice of Victory, a 1/3 for 2 with Mobilize 2. And your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Okay, I need to play this Brain Surge before that hits. So we'll pay 3 for Brain Surge. Draw some cards. Put 2 back on top. We can't play counter spells right now, so I think we put Force Spike and Spell Snare on top. And we'll put Spell Snare closest to the top. And then they'll get no plus counters because they didn't attack us this last turn, thankfully. Draw into that Spell Snare. We'll play an Island for turn. And we'll deduce for 2. Draw a card into our Force Spike. Sacrifice this clue. Draw another card. We didn't get into any answers. We got a Misty Rainforest. So we'll pass the turn, and we're going to be dead on pass, as he's got pro blue now for Light-Paws and the Benevolent, or the Witch's Enchanter. Plus they're going to mobilize. So they'll get a couple warrior tokens, and we will get knocked out. Alright, game 3, 1-1 here. We're going to go ahead and be on the play since we lost last game. And a decent starting hand. I think we go ahead and keep this. I got rid of Spell Snare last time, and I probably should have kept it. Might have played out a little differently. Anyway, we'll keep. Our opponent mulligans down to 6. We'll go ahead and play an Island and pass the turn. Eigenjo, Seat of the Empire. I haven't seen this land before. Taps for a white. You can channel it to deal 4 damage to an attacking or blocking creature. Interesting. Alright. And they're going to play Skrelv Defector Might, a 1/1 with Toxic that tries to infect you out. So that'll be fun to play around. And then for 1, we'll play an Island. And I think we just leave Moment of Truth or Telling Time up. And we'll pass the turn back to Light-Paws. All that glitters on the Skrelv. I really don't want that, so I'm going to go ahead and Spell Pierce that. That'll get countered. Attacking for 1 is the Skrelv. We'll take 1 Infect as well as 1 regular damage. And then we draw into a Resculpt. I don't want to miss my land drops, so I think I need to play one of these 2 cards here. I think we play Moment of Truth as... Well, I think we play Telling Your Time, as it's going to smooth out our draws a little better. And we'll put a land into hand, and we don't have anything for our opponent. I want to get... The Blink of the Eye doesn't really do much, so I think we leave Murmuring Mystic closest to the top and hope that we can get into an island and then put Blink of an Eye on the bottom. Well, we've already got Talrand. I don't think we need the Murmuring Mystic. Let's put Blink of an Eye on top and send Murmuring Mystic to the bottom. And then we'll pass... Ooh, almost passed the turn. I want to play this island. I got nothing else to do with 1 mana, so I might as well play my Serum Visions. We'll draw into the Blink of an Eye. Forgot about that. And then I've got 2 cards that I can send to the bottom or keep on top. Brain Surge and Remand. And I need to get into land, so I'm going to send both of those to the bottom. And then we'll pass the turn to our opponent. They go ahead and activate Mishra's factory. It's a 2/2. The Skrelv is going to give the factory Toxic 1 and Hexproof until end of turn. And protection from a color? Oh, Hexproof from blue. Okay. And then the factory will attack us for 2. We'll go down to 17 and get another poison counter. And then we are once again into a non-land, which is Echoing Truth. So I think we play the Moment of Truth to try to get into a land. Harbinger wouldn't also be bad either, as it would turn off all of our opponent's lands and turn them into islands. I actually really like that. Then they would be in a really bad spot. I think we play this Harbinger of Seas to turn off our opponent's lands. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. And then we will pass the turn to our opponent. Ah, they drew into a Plains. And then there's Light-Paws. And they'll pass back to us. Skrelv on our turn choosing to give Hexproof from blue to Light-Paws. Into another non-land. So now we're going to play that Moment of Truth. And wow, none of these are lands. We can put one into our hand, one into our graveyard, and one in the bottom. Let's put Deduce into hand, Suspend into our graveyard, since we can play that with our commander if we ever get there, and then Daze on the bottom of our library. 1 mana left that we can't do anything with unless they play something somehow from outside the command zone, or outside of the game or whatever. So we'll go ahead and pass the turn to our opponent. Skrelv, again giving Toxic and Hexproof from blue. Now we see the Sentinel's Eyes targeting Light-Paws to give it +1/+1 in Vigilance. Can also be escaped, pretty good. It'll become a 3/3, and they can also fetch up an aura. And they get the Spirit Link, so life link for our commander, or their commander. And they'll attack us for 3. So we'll go up to 3 infect, down to 14 regular life, and our opponent's going to gain 3. And then it's going to be our turn. Ooh, Vidalcan Shackles, really strong card. Will allow us to steal our opponent's commander, actually, assuming we stick around a whole nother turn cycle and it doesn't get removed or pumped. I think we go for Vidalcan Shackles, and then if not, we can always blink one of the... If not, we can always blink something. And then we'll go ahead and pass the turn to our opponent. No attacks. Again, giving Hexproof, Toxic, Hexproof from blue and Toxic to Light-Paws. They go ahead and attack us for 3, gaining 3, us losing 3. Grand Abolisher. We can't cast spells or activate abilities of artifacts, creatures, or enchantments during our opponent's turn. And then we draw into an island. I think we go ahead and use the Vidalcan Shackles to steal Light-Paws. And let's go to combat. We'll attack. Oh, we can't. I guess it gets Summoning Sickness when we steal it. So yeah, since they've got the Grand Abolisher, I think we're going to play Deduce now, as I don't have any counter spells live in hand, as Wash Away costs too much. Draws us into Force Spike. We get a clue token. We'll pass to our opponent. It's going to give the Grand Abolisher Toxic 1. No attacks, and then we'll see an Optimistic Scavenger, a 1/1 with whenever an enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully unlock a room, put a plus counter on target creature. Interesting. Okay, plus counters when they get enchantments, so that's going to be bad for us. We'll leave it tapped, as Light-Paws is the strongest creature out here. We draw into Treachery. I like that. And then we'll go to combat and attack with Light-Paws. No blocks from our opponent, so they're going to lose some life and we'll gain some life. Oh, they lose life and gain life because of the way Spirit Link works. Okay, that sucks. I didn't realize that's how that was going to go. I think we go ahead and play tower, and then just so we can start getting some drakes and fly over the top. So we'll play him for 4, and then we'll pass the turn to our opponent. Skrelv to give the Abolisher hexproof from blue, and then they pass right back to us. We'll leave the Vidalcan Shackles tapped. Unsubstantiate as our draw for turn. I think we can go ahead and blink of an eye the Spirit Link. We'll kick it so we can draw a card, hopefully getting us a land. And we draw into Stock Up, so that should dig us a little deeper. And then we'll go ahead and pass the turn to our opponent. Again, activating the Skrelv. And then we see Urza's Saga hit the battlefield, which is an enchantment land, triggering the Optimistic Scavenger and giving a plus counter to the Grand Abolisher. And now Spirit Link being cast on the Grand Abolisher. And it's now a 4/4. And he'll attack us for 4. I'm going to go ahead and put Light-Paws in front of the Grand Abolisher, as well as the Harbinger of Seas. Oh, I can't put the Harbinger of Seas in front of it because it's got protection from blue. So I guess Light-Paws is just going to get sent back to the command zone. He'll gain some life. And then we'll see Light-Paws second main. Unfortunately, I don't have any mana. Otherwise, this Wash Away or Force Spike would have been handy. But yeah, that'll hit. And then Invasion of Gobakon. And they're going to get rid of Treachery, of course. That makes sense. And we will untap the Vidalcan Shackles. We'll go ahead and steal their commander again. We'll just keep sending it in front of the Grand Abolisher, as he doesn't have trample. We'll play Island for turn. Go to combat, swing for 2 with our Drake in the air. Opponent down to 24. And with the Grand Abolisher out, I think we just play Stock Up to try to dig a little deeper and see if we can't accelerate and also get another Drake token. So a Drake to hit the battlefield. The 5 cards we have access to are Personal Tutor, Preordain, Unwind, Sapphire Medallion, and Island. I want the Island because we are been just starved for lands. Also, if he pumps stuff, I'd like to be able to steal it with Vidalcan Shackles. And then the next card I think I should grab is going to be the Unwind. And then we'll put the rest on top with Preordain closest to the top, Personal Tutor, and then Sapphire Medallion. Passing the turn to our opponent. Again, pumping up. Oh, and then he's going to attack his own invasion, giving his creature protection from blue. And it's a 5/5 now. So he's going to gain some life. He's going to get the Light Shield Array again like the other game, and then get a plus counter. 2 plus counters. Dang. Okay. We'll go ahead and untap. We'll leave Vidalcan Shackles tapped as I can't steal the Grand Abolisher. And then we draw into an island. So we'll play Island for turn. He's got Pro Blue. So I need to get rid of this Light Shield Array. I think I Echoing Truth the Light Shield Array. He's just going to get it back, so I have to wait until combat, and then I'll get rid of it next turn. That leaves 2, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I got 4 left. I'll leave Unwind up. I can't do anything with that Grand Abolisher blocking me. Oh, I can't do it on his turn because of the Grand Abolisher, so I'll Echoing Truth that now. We'll get another Drake. Light Shield Array back to hand, and then I'll hopefully be able to unwind it. I've still got 4 mana. I can't even play on his turn. I'm in a bad spot. Okay, I guess that just buys me a little time. Yeah, we'll go ahead and go to attacks. I'm gonna attack with both of my Drakes. Light-Paws down to 25. get rid of anything. I could get rid of the Spirit Link. I gotta get rid of the Spirit Link. I think we play Resculpt. Oh, I can't target the Spirit Link? I guess I can't target the Spirit Link. So, they're just gonna keep gaining life, and I'm probably sorry out of luck on this game unless I can somehow not let him get that counter next turn. With that, we'll go ahead and ship the turn to our opponent. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and play Unsubstantiate on this Optimistic Scavenger, as well as the Resculpt, and just see if we can't accelerate fast enough to get ahead of our opponent. I'm not going to be able to accelerate fast enough to get ahead of my opponent. I can get rid of a creature or an artifact. Yeah, I think we just passed the turn. I don't want to leave mana up. What do I guess I'll draw a card with this clue token. Scrolf to give hexproof and protection from blue. We'll block with the Light-Paws. He's going to gain a chunk of life. And then we'll see a Hushbringer, flying lifelink. Creatures entering the battlefield or dying don't cause abilities to trigger. Interesting. Alright. And then Light-Paws to hit the battlefield. And then they'll pass the turn to us. We are going to untap, play a land for turn, and we need to steal that Grand Abolisher before it gets any bigger. I can't believe that actually happened. Now we can play on our opponent's turn. We've got a bunch of counter spells, and we are going to go to combat and attack with our Drakes, as well as the Harbinger of the Seas. No blocks from our opponent, so they'll go down to 22. And then I think we just leave mana up and see what we want to do. Our opponent to give the Hushbringer protection from blue and potentially get in some toxic counters. And then a solid footing, so +1/+1. Creature has vigilance. Oh, as long as it has... Wait, as long as enchanted creature has vigilance. Okay, it doesn't have vigilance, so that part doesn't matter. It's just +1/+1. I could counter this. I think I do. Otherwise, he's got 2 cards in hand. Let's go ahead and play the Unwind on the solid footing. Gets us another Drake. And then we'll untap 3 of our lands. We'll get another toxic counter, and then Invasion of Gobakon will hit the battlefield, and we'll see the Optimistic Scavenger again, and then Sentinel Eyes attached to the Hushbringer, and that'll trigger a bunch of stuff. And then we will play Opt at the end of turn, gets us another Drake. And Spell Seeker, I like that, so we'll leave it on top, draw into it, and we gotta leave it tapped. We cannot give the Grand Abolisher back, we'll be in so much trouble. Play another land for turn. What do we have in our graveyard? I think we play Lier and then bounce our opponent's stuff. This doesn't have protection from blue. Yeah, let's do that. We are going to lose access to the counter spells we have in hand, but that'll be fine. And let's go ahead and we'll just go to combat and swing with everybody but Talrand and the Grand Abolisher, as we don't want him gaining life. And our opponent down to 9. And do I need to do these the instant? Everything I've got is at instant speed that I want to play. So I think we just pass the turn. Again, giving the Hushbringer a toxic counter, or the ability to give toxic counters. And then the Hushbringer is going to attack the Invasion, and I think that we want to go ahead and play this. Oh, how much mana do we have? We got 3. Let's play the Unsubstantiate. Yeah, I think that's right. And we'll target the Nope, not the Harbinger. We want the... Wait, cancel. Wait, return target creature, spell or creature to its owner's hand. Does it? Oh, god darn it. The Skrelv guy has the Skrelv gave it the protection from blue, so that's gonna happen. Yep. And Vision's gonna be exiled, Light Shield Array to come back, plus counters to be distributed. And then at the end of turn, we'll go ahead and play Brainstorm. Draw some cards. Put 2 back on top of the library. We'll go with Exhaustion and Force Spike. And we'll put Exhaustion closest to the top. And then we'll play Deduce for 2. Draw us a card, get us another Drake. And a Clue token. And then we'll leave the Shackles tapped. Draw into the Force Spike. We'll go ahead and bounce the... We'll play the Unsubstantiate now. Targeting the Hushbringer. Gets us another Drake. And then we'll go ahead and just swing with all of our flyers. As well as the Harbinger of the Seas. Optimistic Scavenger to block the Harbinger, and the Drakes to get in unblocked. And that'll knock our opponent out. Probably misplays from the CPU in that they kept using the Skrelv to give things toxic, but the protection from blue was useful. Fun games for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed them as well.
YouTube thinks you'll like the video in the top right. Otherwise, you could check out one of the playlists on the bottom. If you liked the video, consider subscribing by clicking the button in the top left. And if you want to support the channel, you can do so by giving this video a thumbs up or leaving a comment with your thoughts below. Thanks for watching and have a great day.